Good day everyone, this is the arrival of the prototype of Club Manager. It just arrived in my hands about 20 minutes ago. I'm excited to show it off to you. First up, let's have a look at the game box. Now, I've got the dimensions slightly wrong, it's too big. I mean, if we take, there's a typical box for a board game, Star Wars. The Club Manager game box is slightly too big, but that can be amended. No worries about that. But I'm delighted with how it's turned out. Maybe need some graphical touches on it. A little bit plain, perhaps the front, but the back's looking nice. Very pleased with this. Giving a bit of a flavour of the game, showing off some of the cards, telling you a little bit of all the important info. But then we come to the game parts themselves. We've got the main board here, with all the different places where workers can be placed from week to week, depending on what you prioritise as a club. You've got your league table shown just here, and this is where you do youth scouting in order to get new players. This is where you upgrade your players' skills through first team training. And over here is the facilities management, and I'll get these out of the way. And there's 5 different facilities that you can improve throughout the game. These are all the upgrade tokens that you'll need for your players when you upgrade their abilities. And you've got some other tokens in here too, like injury tokens, which get applied to players if they get injured during a match. On to the player mat, which is in a bit of a mess because everything's sitting on top of it, but we'll have a look at that a bit more closely in just a second. But all the different cards have arrived. So you've got your season goal cards here, and this is something that you draw at the start of every season. Apart from season 1, you draw 3 of these cards, and it gives you a goal for the season, and you have to decide whether or not you're going to stick to that goal or which one of the 3 cards you'd go with. And it tells you what you achieve if you manage to hit that goal, and what you lose if you don't manage to achieve that goal. So that's the season goal cards. Now, the quality of these cards is pretty good. It's not finished copy because it's prototype, but nevertheless it's easy to play with just now. Then you've got the board meeting cards, which are similar to the season goal cards, but these are cards that you can access through the season. If you place a worker on the board meeting place, again you draw 3 of these and you decide which one to keep, and you have to keep one of them. And you can see you get that type of goal on your next game by 2 goals, or when your next match in any competition. That could be a dead easy one to achieve. What's this one? If you advance 4 spaces forward in youth scouting in the next 3 weeks, you get to take a free tactical card, or if you don't, you pay £10. So that's how the board meeting cards work. It's a way of making a bit of money, or losing out and mixing things up in the game a little bit. Tactical cards. These are achieved if you go into the tactical workspace, and tactical cards give you a match day advantage. It's usually quite limited, but useful all the same. So there you have, stop your opponent from using a reroll. That can be very useful in a multiplayer game, I think, not in a solo player game. And then you get things like this, where you increase your defense score by 5, you play with 5 defenders. So that's what goes on in tactical cards, and you can use them in any game, so you just save them up until the time comes. Much more useful, however, are scout report cards. So again, they're on the board. If you place a worker into scout report, then you'll get a scout report card, and that has to be used in your next match. And there's one of the bad ones. It gives you no effect. But to show you maybe a more typical one, you get this one here, where you increase your centre score by 3. It's valid for the whole match and against your next opponent only. So those can be very powerful and can help swing a match in your favour. We've got the all-important chance cards. So this is what you draw. If you win a duel during a match, you draw a chance card, and there's the top one you want. There's a goal. So there's a handful of goal cards in here. You've got saved cards. What else have we got? More goal cards. More goal cards. More saved. I promise there's more than that. You got tackled. You got there saved ? Test goalkeeper skills. So there's real drama as you draw these cards during a match, because of course you want to get a goal card and you want your opponent not to draw a goal card. So that's what they're for, to tell you how your match is progressing. We've got these little cards here, which are a late thought of mine, late addition. So it tells you what season you're on, and what you do with this is you just slot it underneath the board, or on top of the board, I guess, and that would tell you which season you're on, so you can keep track of that really easily. That saves me using a space on the board because space is at a premium. You've got your opposition cards. Here they are here, and these are much smaller than the other cards, as you can see. And that these cards here tell you who you're playing against at any given time. And there's a code in the top right hand corner. This is Hawkhead City. They are in Division 3 and they're team number 2. And here's their attributes that you'll be up against, including their flair and their strength attributes. And included in this mix here as well are the European teams, if you manage to get to Division 1, win the league and play in the Euro Cup. So they're all in there. And there's some Division 1 teams as well, by way of showing you how that is. Hawkhead City are actually very good, now that I look at that. Tough opponent to beat. Then you have your player cards. So there's 4 different types of player cards. You've got your initial set, and that's who you draw your squad from right at the start. You have your youth players, who of course you'll be getting if you get up the youth player track. You've got players who only come into play once you reach season 5 onwards. There's a dog here. And then you have the transfer market cards as well. And there's a whole stack of them. And it depends which division you're in, will tell you which cards to be using in the transfer market. But to have a look at a card, picking one at random, here's how they look these days. They've changed a fair bit. So you have the fact that the player's name, of course, is at the top. It's Bass. He's Dutch. He's a 9 skill, so awfully good player. He retires at the end of season 7. He cannot be developed. He's already the finished article. However, he is injury prone, so that's one thing to look out for. What else have we got? We've got Buckley here. Retires at the end of season 6. Can be developed up until the end of season 3. Can develop by 1 skill point. That's his position, and that's his characteristic, which is strength. Very important during a match. So that's how those cards look. And, you know, by way of contrast, youth player cards are not particularly good, but they always have a high potential. So Oswell here doesn't retire. That's what the asterisk means. Can be developed until the end of season 9, up by 7 skill points. So Oswell could turn out to be a very, very good player. One last thing to look at is the team mat, which again I've oversized slightly. It could come down, I think, by at least 20, perhaps 20%, if I cut out some of these margins here. And there's a lot of space at the top here that's not necessary. So it does take up a fair bit of table space, as you can see. So I need to bring that down a little bit. But these spaces are the right size to put player cards into, and that's what's really important. And this is how you line up your formation for any match that you're going to play, by spreading them out across this formation mat. And you've got spaces at the top here for players who are injured or suspended. Tells you what team you are up here in the corner as well. And these tokens I talked about before are, well, okay, if a player's suspended, if they're injured, and this one is if they're the team captain, and this is related to team morale. Of course, it comes with a full manual as well, with everything that you need to know about the game here, and you've maybe seen this manual online. If you've not, you can download it and browse through it online. If you find any typos or anything, let me know. That'd be really useful for me. But it fully explains how to play the game. Nicely printed, pleased with that. And you get this quick start guide as well, which gives you info on, I guess, it's a quick reference to the info you use a lot of the time, like how does the match sequence work, what's the values, and so on and so forth. And there's a banana, but that doesn't come with the game. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this quick look at Club Manager. I can't wait to get playing, and I will get playing on it soon. So I can test it finally on the table, and I'll feedback once I've done that. Cheers for watching.